Close your laptop. I passed out an article and a little graph. Other extras.
Another story right now. I want to know if this is true or not. Because I'm reading a story about Ranger and Time, and it's a escape from the Great Earthquake. And it's kind of like China and girls. But it says they have to have papers everywhere they went back then. If they lived in America, like papers to make sure that they're legal to stay here. Was that, like, is that a thing?
Yes, I mean it was a thing, like especially if you're talking about like African American people who were slaves. Like if you didn't have your papers on you, they just started to assume that you were a runaway slave.
Or like, no.
And that you weren't a free person.
I'm kind of
Right, I'm not sure about the Okay, well we are moving on to talk about the Powhatan Indians or Native Americans. Right, because they were there when the people came to establish the Jamestown colony. They basically intruded on their territory, the places that they used to hunt, and the Powhatan Indians, they used this land. But when people came over from Europe and they made the Jamestown colony, that's where they landed. It was right in the middle of Powhatan Indian territory. So we're going to read about Powhatan Indians today and how their relationship with the Jamestown colony changed and evolved throughout their time there. Do you think that their relationship was always good?
No.
No. Was it always bad?
No.
Maybe not. We're going to find out. So, on your article, starting at the top of the page. When I stop, you say the next word. When the Jamestown settlers arrived in 1607, they claimed a piece of land that was already surrounded by Powhatan Indians. The Powhatans were divided into 32 separate tribes, each with its own chief. The supreme leader of all Powhatan tribes was the great Chief Powhatan. Powhatan people lived in their society according to
Rank.
the levels of rank included rulers, great warriors, priests, and finally commoners. The Powhatan people worshipped many gods and spirits. Priests had interesting appearances. They painted their faces, wore capes, and fell into headdresses made of snakeskin, and wore bird claws and blackbirds as earrings. The Powhatan Indians lived very well by using the environment surrounding them. They farmed corn, beans, squash, and gourds. They also gathered fruits, nuts, roots, and grain. Powhatan men spent a lot of time hunting. They used bows and arrows to kill large animals, and they used traps to catch small animals. They used the animals they killed for food and used the animals' bodies for tools and clothing. In Powhatan society, everyone worked. While men hunted and fought, women and children had a lot to do. They built horses, grew, gathered firewood, cut reeds for mats, made clothing, and so much more. I want you to read the back of this page on your own. On the back side of the face. you're done. Okay. Bring your head back up. I also passed out this graph. Right, it has some words on one side and blank boxes on the other side. The directions say, after reading Latin Indian culture from prosperity to crisis, which is what we just read, complete the 2-column notes activity. The left column lists a broad statement about Powhatan Indian culture, and the right column lists what you learned about that aspect of Powhatan culture. Use your own words. Let's do the first one together. It says the Powhatan people lived according to their ranks. Everybody get out their highlighter. If I go back in the text, I'm looking for where they talk about ranks. Can you find where they talk about ranks in the text? Aiden? Yeah, first page. All right. Powhatan people live with society according to rank. That's kind of a broad statement, isn't it? So from this article, I learned that there are levels of ranks, right? Rulers, great warriors, priests, commoners. What else would you highlight in this paragraph? Cody? Anything else that you'll move about ranks in this paragraph, Ariana? No. Okay. I didn't really talk about any more about the ranks in that paragraph. Other than that, priests wore, special or different outfits. Before I go back to this page, the Powhatan people live according to their ranks. How might you put that information in your own words? Turn and talk to a partner.
There's different levels of people. Yeah, like
Aiden's a hacker. Yeah.
they have different types of ranks.
Yeah. But you don't have one? Get like a marker or something.
Different people have different types of ranks.
Okay, when you think you have what you want, write it down. Yeah, write it in the blank part. Write it in your own words. So then you just read the whole thing when you were looking at this first box. It said the Powhatan people lived according to their ranks. And this wants you to, that's like a very vague, very broad statement. So I want you to go back to the text and find more information that you learned, and then you write about it in the blank box next to it. Jay, you should be helping him. Who's your partner?
If that's okay with you. Some others
Ariel, what did your group put?
the Powhatan people lived on ranks like chief, puncher, and puncher.
Okay, so you like listed the ranks that you learned about. Corey, what did your group put?
Some of them were better.
Some that were better than others.
Like, according to
You see that in the text? Right. It doesn't really say that they were better than others, but there were different kinds of ranks. Hadley, what did your group say? Okay. Jake, can you help her? You listening? If you don't have an answer written down, be listening. You guys have one? What'd you put?
We put the Powhatan people have different types of ranks, depends on what they're like good at, their levels, they're on.
Yeah, that's good. You guys did a good job putting that in your own words. Jace?
We put that they were sorted into groups by rank.
Good. I already heard from your group. Okay. So, now we're going to split up into groups, into partners, and you're going to go back in the text and highlight, and then restate the information in partners. Say it together. Get with your partner in 5, 4, 3,
This one right here.
You guys like move down the seats?
Would be back of the cup.
Okay. Okay, so which one? You're on the second one? The book is very well. Like, 5 minutes around. Put them on my desk. Where do you have any gadgets at? We can look at everything for you.
They have to work to survive.
And then you just have to put it in your own. Talking about how they survived for living in America.
Maybe they're different.
Okay, so
You're getting inspiration.
Society. So society is like our society has like rules and like these are the things that you can do in your society. Like here in America, like once you turn 18, like you leave home, right? You go get a job. That's kind of what happens in our society. But some cultures, you turn 18 and you still live with your family. You live with your family forever. Right. But it's like an expectation in American society that you leave home too. But some places it's not. So when they say society, it's just like a group of people that live by the same kind of values or understanding. Right? So in Powhatan society, that's something that was important to them that everybody wants. Even the kids, even the women, the men. Did you know this one? You have to look further into that paragraph where they talk about more. What did they do? How did they work? What did they do for work? Who did what?
Just remember the words. Okay, Jay, just learn the problems. The problem. Let me write on my hand on the restroom because I went twice today. What is that for?
Alright, when you're done with this, make sure your name is at the top and you're turning it into social studies.
Of course you I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Miss Pinkford, social studies book. It's all, yeah, the James, colonies, something, Jamestown.
Colony disaster.
Yes, colony disaster.
People Hatton and the settlers formed a relationship after some time had passed. Okay, so how do they build a relationship? Or what do they do? I'm gonna read it. We can't come on, what do you think?
She just hit me with it.
If you're done, you're at your seat.
This is crossword solving my
No, hold on to it. Next.
No, you're supposed to keep this, not stupid.
Were they excited about them being there? Okay. So highlight where it is on next. And why weren't they excited? What was happening? It's in there. You have 1 minute. Did they go to war and say that?
Foods?
They were fighting, right? Yeah?
Can we turn this out?
Ask me before me. I already gave that instruction.
Only the problem thing. You cut this up? You put it on this one.
Alright, can you go back to your seat? You're going to watch a little video. Turn to your seat, please.
Can you run up and pray?
We're going to watch a little video about the Powhatans and their relationship with the Jamestown colony. And it's also going to show you what their village looks like. So what their village looked like and what the tools, things that they used or did at that time.
one kind of misunderstanding that the English and the Wyandots had early on, and it continued to be a misunderstanding for many years, was that the English wanted to buy corn when their own supplies ran out.
You need to look into the front.
And they assumed that men were the heads of Indian households, and so they would try to get the men to sell corn. It may not have been up to the men in Indian culture. Women raised the corn, and they were perfectly capable of selling it. And the English may well have offended those Indian women by refusing to talk to them and going to the husbands instead. The English and the Indian men had their difficulties because they were all very interested in arms for warfare. Most of the English colonists had been to the wars in Europe, and they had firearms. The Indian men lived in a place where raiding went on all the time. The enemies of the Wyandots were on the west side of Richmond. Warfare came right to your door. So the Indian men with their bows and arrows and tomahawks were expert in using them. They were expert marksmen. But they soon realized that the English weapons initially sounded scary. Those weapons could shoot farther. The bigger weapons anyway. And since these were all military men of one sort or another, they were fascinated with each other's weapons. And of course the English assumed that their weapons were better, which is not necessarily true. And the Indians were dying to see them close up and handle them and try them out. And the English wouldn't allow it. And that caused offense. The irony is that for the wilderness over here, almost complete wilderness outside the Indian towns, Indian weapons were actually better. Because you could fire them moving fast, taking cover, fire again, take more cover, fire again. The English weapons were all muzzle-loading things, and many of them were very, very heavy. Some of them had to be put up on a tripod. You couldn't hold them up yourself. And those were meant for open field fighting. Well, where do you find open fields in this part of the world? So the English weapons were good for scaring people, but they weren't that good in actual fights.
Who was sitting at my desk?
It did show us the village.
Okay, so the Powhatan people and the Jamestown people, what were they interested in by each other?
Guns and corn.
Right, food and weapons. Isn't that part of like feeling safe? Like you want to make sure that you can protect yourself and you can eat. So that's kind of what built their relationship with each other. A couple other pages went around. Need to gather your scissors.
What about our village?
Nope. Cut out this page. We're gonna do a training. A little training sword. Well, on the back of the second page I gave you, it says training with the Powhatan. Good heading. Rylan. items offered by the Jamestown settlers. Some of these items came from the Englishmen, the gentlemen, right, from Jamestown. But some of these items were only offered by the Native Americans, the Powhatan Indians. So you, using your knowledge and using what we watch when we discuss, need to sort these items. Okay? Who do you think? What items do you think the Jamestown, the Englishmen would have offered to the Indians? What items do you think the Indians would have offered to the Englishmen? Does that make sense? When you think you have it, I want you to raise your hands. I'm gonna come look at it.
Can we go to our post?
Nope, we're not going.
So I got right?
When I have looked at yours, you can begin marking out. Quietly. Quietly.
Why don't we move it on?
Good. This is what is it going to say? You should be doing this without talking. Good.
My back bleeding.
Colton or Hallie, did you guys see a dog living outside in the playground? No.
I don't know, because I just
My friend's dog.
Have you found out there?
No.
Okay.
We did do this.
Is that it right there? No?
I know, like,
I'll go help.
Aiden's done.
I'll go
Yeah,
help. I need a band-aid.
I don't know the door for
Can I get you Hallie? You're not done. Yes, Aiden needs help.
I'm gonna hold it for you.
I think I'm right here on my shoulder.
Good.
Go down and ask me, or tell Mrs. Nurse Sasha we're out of ambulance.
Good. Nope. Good.
Where do you put all of these?
Put it in your social studies book.
Okay, mine.
Good.
Okay, now where do I put it? Now do I
Nope.
where do I put it now?
Native Americans were able to make. And they made weapons out of rocks. Like the bow and arrows made out of rocks.
You just have to go to the same side.
Good. So if you were done, you were getting things up. Putting your laptop away. Close. No. That's very different. Okay, good. Wait. No. They made bow and arrows out of rocks. They would take, chip them away with another rock. Right. So you have that one switched with
I had that last time. This is what I had. Yeah, oh, you can make another one. Too many arrowheads.
No, your copper jewelry. And your grades are Hey, you should be cleaning up. Put your laptops away. Close. If they didn't make metal tools, what else would they have? Yes.
Think so? Rylan, Camilla, Hadley, Gabe, Rylan.
This is the color from me.
I just did this in front of Nick.
Thanks. Just get one for your back, okay?
Why does it say see you Wednesday?
Do you think the Native Americans make rocks?
Doesn't call look bad.
They can't make rocks. That's the only thing. You're good.
Okay, Mr. Marshall, you want to go again?
Hey. Yeah, can you show me yours?
Oh, I haven't got it yet. I'm gonna have to go down here. Did I need one for my back? I cannot see my back.
That's what I would say.
Good.
Ariel.
All right, everybody, get packed up.
Do you want me to finish? Or Jimmy to put something on there? And wait until okay, all right.
Yes, Miss Steps.
What's Mrs. Mallard? Oh, I was just gonna show, do you still have the hot glue that's on your glasses? You got new pieces?